Welcome to Coastal Experts. You know, when it comes to your heating and air conditioning needs, it's hard to know exactly what to do, and that's why we call on the experts at McCall's HVAC. And joining us today is Bryant Dunn, who is a building analyst with McCall's. Thanks so much for joining us, Bryant. It's great to see you.
Well, it's great to be here.
Well, it is hard to know exactly what to do when it comes to your heating and air conditioning needs, especially when it comes to choosing the right unit for your home. I guess my first question is, how do you know what size when it comes to choosing the right unit?
Well, there's a calculation we can do in the home that's called a heat loss, heat gain, and that's always a good idea, especially when you're dealing with something a little bit out of the ordinary. And every home is different. So really, how to choose the right size unit for your home is to size it up for the home, and we'll provide that service.
So Bryant, let's talk about efficiency. I know I've seen SEER ratings. What exactly does it mean, SEER ratings, and why is that important?
Natalie, a SEER rating is basically a ratio of energy in to cooling or heating capacity out. It's important because it's what determines our power bill, really. Our power bill has your base load, and then your heating and cooling cost generally is 50 to 60% of that power bill, higher in the summer as the rates go up. So it's very important for that ongoing price that we pay every month.
Let me ask you about new technologies, because I know things are always changing, and you guys as experts, I mean, you stay up with the times. So let's talk about new technologies.
There are a lot of new technologies out there in heating and air conditioning. As homes become tighter, their needs change a little bit. There's a lot of controls now in with our equipment. Variable speed motors are very popular to help efficiency. Just like light bulbs went from incandescent to LED, the components in the air conditioning.
Which really made a difference.
Oh, without a doubt. Everybody has realized that, and Georgia Power has paid you to change your light bulbs out. Same thing with heating and air equipment. The motors become more efficient, and variable speed motors are a great thing for noise, for continued ventilation, where we don't have that stratification or stale feeling in the home, where the motor runs all the time, circulating air all the time, and we just have that unnoticed, that very quiet comfort going on.
Yeah, many times you hear, I guess, some units, and they're very loud, but there are quiet units now as well.
There are now, and part load units that step down when the demand in the home is not as great. Instead of shutting off, which is a noisy action, they ramp down and run very quietly for long periods of time, more like a refrigerator in the home, rather than where you hear the unit banging on, having to turn up the TV when the heat or the air conditioning comes on. We can do away with that.
Now, what about thermostats? So a new technology where the thermostats.
Of course, just like the iPhone and everything else.
Things are constantly changing.
Wi-Fi connectivity on the thermostats. We see the thermostat becoming the heart of the home with do-it-yourself home automation, monitoring sequences where you have a motion detector that sees you drive in, and it sets your thermostat to where you like it, brings on a light. So a lot of home automation is now coming through the thermostat.
You know, we as individuals, we have our annual checkups, and when we're sick, we go to the doctor. How important is it when it comes to preventative maintenance for a new unit?
Well, a new system should go in and probably needs to be checked out more than maintenance at the end of a year. It's gone through 4 seasons. If any imperfection in workmanship happens, that's the time to discover that during the first year. But then from there on, it's like a car. The equivalent of your air conditioning running is like your car would be about 150,000 miles a year. You wouldn't drive your car 150,000 miles a year without maintaining it. So the hours, I think we got around 1,800 cooling hours and around 1,000 heating hours. So if you multiply 2,800 times 60, that's about 160,000 miles equivalent on our heating and air system every year. So after that first year, I would get it checked out, and then from there on out, I would maintain it at least once every year, have an expert look at that system and look at all the components to make sure there hasn't been a problem, crushed duct work.
And this is something that you should probably think about from day one.
I would. You know, there's, like they say, we say in our business, there's three prices that you pay. There's the price that you pay to buy that system. There's the price, the electrical price that you pay to operate that system, and then the price you pay to service that system. And a lot of times, if a little bit more is spent on the front end, it'll save you on the back end on those other two components of the price.
And for any questions that our viewers have, they can always call on McCall's, because you guys do such a great job in not only providing those new units, but providing information to your customers and putting them in the best situation for their
Without a
homes.
doubt, an educated homeowner makes the right decision most of the time, compared to in the heat of the moment in the summer when our system dies. We like to educate our homeowners. We use our preventative maintenances to do that when we go in and find issues that we can address on an ongoing basis. These can be a large investment when you're not only having to change the heating and air system, but parts of the structure that need repair due to leakiness, such as the ductwork. That's a big thing. Putting a new system on an old duct system. We have to be very careful there.
And when you deal with an expert and you deal with a wonderful company where the units are concerned, well, believe me, all your needs will be taken care of, and you won't be left without a not working system, you know, and that's what we don't want.
That's what we don't want, especially when it's hot or cold outside.
That's right. Bryant, thanks so much for joining us. It's always great to see you.
Well, thank you.
If you have more questions for Bryant or McCall's HVACs or any of our coastal experts, all you have to do is go to the webpage, wsav.com.